We're out of the groups and into the playoffs. Only 2 matches today, but boy, do they matter. It's Semi 1. We've got fan favorite Tyloo versus the basketball boys from down under, a.k.a. the Renegades. And in Semi 2, we have the Japanese upset Scars against the somewhat struggling Tainted Minds, who yesterday managed to secure the last playoff spot. 2 best of 3s coming your way today. And this is day number 10 here at FACEIT Minors in the region is Asia. My name is Trey Saranthus, and I am the desk host here on this lovely desk alongside of my colleagues and Spud and Bleh. Guys, good morning. Welcome back. How was your sleep last night? Talk to me about your entire lives.
Terrible.
Okay.
It was kind of nice, actually.
One of those evenings where you wake up like 3 or 4 times.
That happened, though.
And I also was just explaining to James as we were just up there in the makeup room about a twirl situation. I don't know if you guys are aware of twirls. It's a chocolate. It's Cadbury's chocolate, and it's the brother of a flake. But anyway, it was a crushed twirl. And last night I grabbed one and I was going to go to bed, and I had put a TV show on, and I was ready and raring to go, and I was like, so excited to eat my chocolate. And I opened it with so much enthusiasm.
Oh no!
That a crushed twirl is very flaky, and that went everywhere.
You know why that happened, Chad? Because you went to the gym yesterday and you got a little extra stronger, and you weren't really prepared for your own man strength. It was kind of wild like that. But either way, you can maybe take a look at Chad's man strength on his Instagram or something like that. It doesn't really matter. His social doesn't matter to now. It's going to be the FACEIT Minor socials. You need to get involved. Hashtag FACEIT Minor. Make sure you're using it across all of your favorite social mediums. And, well, maybe even tag one of us in it. You never know what kind of response that Sponge will give you. He's one of those loose cannons when it comes to social media, right, Chad?
Yeah, I like to tweet my mind. I like to tweet my mind.
FIDIWC.
Only dead fish go with the flow. That's my most recent gem.
Yeah, I saw that. Except for salmon,
God.
though. They go against the flow and then they get eaten by grizzlies.
Yeah, but they're alive.
But they die immediately.
Okay.
Nah, never mind.
Let's shift some of the focus not on maybe so much the fish getting eaten by grizzlies, but rather some of the teams yesterday and the day before that were eaten by maybe not so much grizzlies.
Well,
but
they could be grizzly.
it could be. It could be very much a grizzly affair. Let's take a look at Group A. This all panned out on day, I believe it was Tuesday.
No, this is Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Time kind of
Today's
flies.
only Wednesday. I know it feels like it's been a little bit longer than that, but on your
like
screen,
Thursday.
We've been saying this, don't adjust your sets. Renegades did lose 16-14 to Scars. That's basically the storyline of this group. Vici and Boot, both with stand-ins, weren't able to get any damage done. And Scars, as touted as the dark horse, went through in first position, Renegades in second. And then if you move over to Group B, we saw that yesterday, which was in fact Tuesday. Tainted Mind struggled 16-2 in the upper bracket final there. And then as we moved down, they had to kind of battle against the Unique Stars, who had a pretty good showing.
Yeah, I think Unique Stars, sure, we have Scars who had that upset. Now they're in the playoffs, so we're going to be seeing more of them. That's pretty cool, right? But apart from the Unique Stars, I think they impressed me amongst all the other teams, the remaining other teams. Yeah, they had a stand-in as well, mind you. They really put up a pretty cool fight. And then we have the brackets right there.
Yes, this tees up today. This is what we're going to be looking at. 2 best of 3s coming your way. Tyloo versus Renegades to kick us off, and then Scars Absolute versus Tainted Mind just on the other side of that. So not too terribly much Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I think the only thing that we would expect different would have been Renegades to go through in first, and the opening matches for this would have been Renegades versus Tainted Minds and Scars versus Tyloo. However, not to be, and we get the banger straight away. We get the match that is probably going to be the grand final of this. The 2 teams who are probably going to progress have to play first thing in this lovely morning. They're kicking it off with all the good action.
I think it's going to be a pretty cool storyline as well, right? Like, these 2 teams, Renegades have won the Asian Minor 3 times. Tyloo won it twice. So it's going to be like, and they have this back and forth. I think it's like the 12th or 13th time they're facing off in the past couple of years as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they've played a lot.
A lot, right? Surprisingly. And Renegades actually had a pretty good streak leading up to this particular game, except for an IM Sydney, where Tyloo kind of won pretty convincingly. That was surprising.
2-0.
Yeah, I mean, seeing them go as far as they did in Sydney was pretty cool to see, specifically even in the region. I mean, I think that was one of those things. But more importantly, right now, I can't even begin to build the hype enough myself. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at just how Tyloo Renegades is expected to unfold.
In our first best of 3 of the day, Tyloo take on Renegades. Tyloo swept the competition off their feet yesterday, with 2 convincing wins over Tainted Minds and 5-Power. Mo pulls out ahead of the pack and will look to be a threat to their opponents today.
I think we have 2 teams have standing like 5-Power and with Dreamscape. So I think if we full focus, we can qualify.
Renegades had a slightly longer route to the playoffs, and after a brief slip-up against Scars, regained their form against Boots in a best-of-3, as Jake improved his form. But will it be enough to emerge victorious today?
Yes, Hot Wheels was exactly wheeling and dealing him around here, the servers, the other day. It was a pretty wild affair to watch, I will say that much.
They see him rolling, they're hating, they're trying to catch him riding dirty. But anyway, Tyloo, he's back. Mo is back, and he had a really good game yesterday against Tainted Minds as that video.
Here's a funny thing. Like, he's back, but he never was the top fragger for the team for a very long time, right?
He's always been that supportish type of guy.
Exactly. So now he's back. That's great. Bentet, as usual, bailed him out of issues. He's the in-game leader. Everything's working out fine for him. Xcrit has really stepped up. We didn't see him do much. We didn't see much from Didi. We didn't see much from somebody because they really didn't have much to do, to be honest.
It's a pretty easy day at the office, right? 2 best of 1s. You kind of flare your way through in that regard. I think it needs to be noted why we're making the joke about Mo. He isn't actually in a wheelchair, right? He's walking around on crutches when he needs to.
Yeah.
And it's because he injured himself. It's been maybe 2 months now?
It's been 2 months. I think it was pretty bad.
But it was a segue of accidents to just
which is terrifying, right? The segues are the most dangerous things, I feel.
It isn't a safe piece of machinery, but they did have AE standing in while he was, I guess, recovering. Now he feels that he's back to a decent level of health. So it's good to have the unit back in form. But some of the issues that have been highlighted, and it was asked in the interview yesterday by Parla, and Ben Tet definitely addressed it, was the communication factor. And that's always going to be an issue when you have some people speaking Indonesian and some others speaking Chinese, and then you have to kind of translate within the server and speak English in some kind of broken way. So for this team to do as well as they do, that's already very impressive. But you can see the difference from when they play on Inferno, which isn't hugely comfortable for them, versus a Mirage, where that's kind of their playground at this point.
But at the same time, right, you look at, I completely agree, the comms are something which will always be a hindrance for the team, but then again, that's something that they've shown, despite that hindrance, they can still take it against some of the best in the world, right? And in the Asia Minor, apart from Renegades, they can just go on, on cruise control and pretty much dominate, which is what we saw yesterday against Tainted Minds, for example. It's against Renegades where it's going to get very interesting. I think they have a very good history, and by now, sure, there have been some roster changes. We had Jacob coming in, for example, then for Tyloo as well. We had AE playing for a couple of months. I think that lineup had AE when they beat Renegades right, in Sydney, right? So, and bear in mind, AE was a primary opper. He is a primary opper, and he had to stand in as a support role, kind of a secondary op and a main rifler.
I mean, we can see Bentet on the screen, and this guy is the one that everyone is hailing as like, you are, well, I mean, what was the question yesterday from Paula? You are the best out of 3.9 billion or something like that.
Yeah, I asked Paula to ask him how he feels about being the best player in that whole Asian region. I'm not including Oceania, but the fact of the matter is, in terms of the rest of the players, he seems to be head and shoulders above the rest in a consistent basis, Trace.
On a consistent basis, and that's what it's all about, consistency, which is why we're going to continue to flow with this one and talk about Chad's favorite topic, the Renegades. And I don't mean the Renegades versus Titan once upon a time. That's not where we are.
God damn it, man. You keep bringing it up. Are you trying to like ruin this for me?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to keep it surface level so people don't
You know what?
forget.
That thing's been coming up so often the past few days. I actually was lying on my bed, open my Mac, and I'm like, I'm just going to like go through some recent VODs, and I'm like, screw it, let's watch a Titan versus Renegades game. And I watch it. It was a pretty fun game. I remember now, like, the memories come flooding back. You were top fragging as well, of course, your favorite game.
Exactly.
Good stuff, man.
Thank you, guys.
That was the Renegades of old. And now we're going to talk about the Renegades here at the EU Minor. Or, excuse me, the Asian Minor. Well, I was real close.
Look, they seem to play everywhere at this point,
don't
they? But the fact of the matter is this team has 1 North American player, 1 player from Norway, and 3 Australians. Now, those 3 Australians have been part of the core of this roster for, I think we're coming up on 2.5 years now.
Those 2 other guys, I mean, JK's and ours have been almost 3 years now?
Well, we were
close.
2014 was when JKS first joined. It was late 2013 that Azza was with me when we were in the Vox Eminor days. JKS joined early then. Obviously, Ustillo only joined when we were officially living in a Las Vegas casino hating our lives. However, this team does in fact have some very cool parts to it. Now, I think the biggest talking points for me is the fact that Nifty is an AWPing in-game leader. His biggest issue is probably consistency, but that will come with the fact that you have a lot more responsibility on your shoulders. Then you have to look at Ustillo on your screen right there, the main entry fragger. Azza is probably the second man in, doing a lot of grunt work within the team. JKS, the more bomb site anchor and locking down star clutch player. And then Jacob seems to be filling a star role, especially when he goes up against players at the Asia Minor that he's more confident against.
Jacob is a player that had a history history. I mean, it hasn't been like the most blow out of the water history, but it was something, definitely a talking point a couple years back. But he seems to have found a home here within the Renegades. I guess what I can ask about the Renegades, Chad, is what you've said in the past is like perhaps they need some sort of hype man, or they need some sort of
is it?
You need a hype man, you need some coffee, whatever you have it. Who should be the ones taking the reins on that?
So, unfortunately, I think it's going to fall on the shoulders of Ryu, the new addition, or at least the trial of the coach. Now, he's been with Nifty in the past when they were in a team called Selfless. But I think if I remember playing with these guys, the person that should probably take the mantle in the team would be Azza. I just think that maybe he needs someone to sit him down and tell him that needs to be the fact, because it's not going to come from JKS. You can get Ustillo up and fired up and getting about, but it has to come from Azza. I definitely think that's the case.
I also feel like Nifty, here's the thing, he's a very quiet guy. He's a very calm and composed guy, right, altogether.
Sure.
But you see all his interviews with him, and you see him in the game as well. He can be very, I think he's a very positive thing in the team. I'm not just talking about his opping. It can be a little streaky, but can be insane. Nifty 50, we all remember that.
Yep.
I think he's a very good in-game leader for what for the experience he has and what he's brought to the team, right? And we hear them in the background as well. Loud bunch, pumped up, right? And that's and also he brings a positivity factor where even if things aren't really going according to plan, he might be the sort of guys, it's all right, it's okay, we got this, right? And he gets that positivity, kind of seeping into the team. I think he's going to be very crucial if this game starts to be a little tight. That
calm, collective feeling. We do have a head-to-head comparison for you guys. It's going to be Jacob and somebody, and I don't mean just anybody. I mean the somebody. We can take a look at it now here on your screen. And actually quite a few maps played between the two teams.
Yeah, well, these guys have been playing a lot of Counter-Strike worldwide at the moment. These are the two teams from this region who are playing consistently, I guess, at the bigger tournaments. And as noted already, we did have the IEM Sydney, which wasn't too long ago. I believe that was in March. And Tyloo were able to take that victory there. We already touted that. But then you think back to DreamHack Masters, they played there. That's where Renegades won. So this is a very back-and-forth affair. Yeah. I think if you go back to 2015, potentially, the Korean tournament,
yeah,
I think it was.
Tyloo won in Malaysia, and ever since the Korean tournament, it's been Renegades all the way when it comes to Asian line.
Don't remind me. But since that time, Tyloo have won 13 games against Renegades. This is maps, not series, and 14 for that of Renegades.
Wow.
So the back and forth in that nature, it's very tight, it's very close. But I think in recent times, at least probably the last 6 months, maybe to a year, Renegades have definitely been the better team, I think, on a consistent basis. Yeah. And you can see that's what comes with living in North America, practicing in a better region. And then they get in the huddle, they're getting fired up. JKS looking absolutely ecstatic to be here this morning, as usual. But let's hope that he can, wheel and deal with that AWP if you're an Australian fan.
Tight like a toiger.
Toit like a toiger.
Toiger.
Are there toigers in Australia?
Where does that even come from?
Yeah, there are.
Chad?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. The Tasmanian tiger. It's extinct, according to most.
Yeah, and it's not really a tiger. Oh, never mind.
Semantics.
I'm pretty sure it's Austin Powers, and you guys both don't know what you're talking about. So let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the map features. This is a best of 3. Yeah. We don't necessarily have that randomness of a best of 1. So perhaps where do we see this one kind of steering itself? I
kind of feel like both these teams like banning out Nuke the first thing, right? I think it's going to be a game
Renegades will float it.
Yeah, I want to see both of them kind of go for a ballsy ban here initially. And
you ban it. Second phase?
Yeah, just let it through. So I'm looking to see Renegades go for the Mirage ban and Tyloo go for the Train ban. I think that'll make things very interesting.
I think we're going to be playing Train. I think we'll definitely be playing Train. I like that ban from Renegades. It's very in your face. We're going to remove the one comfort pick. We're not going to let you guys go where you feel the most
Tyloo should ban Train right
confident.
Now. Yeah.
Tyloo are definitely going to ban Nuke. See, here's the thing, right? You don't have the risk potential if you're Tyloo. You don't have the same level. Renegades can play any map. Not well, but they can play any map. Whereas Tyloo, their map pool is a much more tight-knit. Renegades are going to pick Train, which I think is the correct pick. They lost to 16-8. You think it's going to be Inferno?
Yeah, because they did beat Renegades last time on Inferno. And I think that's a
closer affair, though, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was 16-12. The thing with Tyloo are there are only 2 maps where they're really good on.
The punish here is overpass, though. Okay, you're right. I was going to say the punish against Renegades in this environment would be overpass.
But Tyloo, I don't think they want to play overpass at all. These are the only 2 maps, that is Inferno and Mirage, where Tyloo are actually very comfortable on. Everything else is almost like, I don't know, guys, it might click or not. This is a very smart ban from Renegades, taking out Dust 2.
Random factor's gone.
Not like they can't play it. They can definitely play it, but that.
You reckon K should be the 3rd?
Oh, that'll be very, very good for Renegades, right? What's the final map remaining here? It is going to be cash. It is
well,
going to
here's the thing, right? So Renegades bluffed so hard throughout the entirety of this veto. They rarely touch nuke and they rarely touch overpass, and they were both the maps which Tyloo removed in this scenario, leaving us with Caches the third, which is towards the top of Renegade's map pool. But Tyloo also, they can play that map.
Here's the thing. It is very 50-50 on cash. Tyloo can definitely play, but the Renegades are so good on it. Like, I think they're one of the few teams in the world when they face off against the likes of FaCEIT and against the likes of anyone else apart from Astralis. They could probably potentially upset any other team. So that's very risky. I would have liked to see the overpass coming in. It could have been really messy, but I think Tyloo would have had a slight edge on that map. But all things considered, this is going to be one hell of a series.
We talk about one hell of a series, but we got to know who you think wins it just real quick. We got to go to the commentators real quick. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Renegades.
Okay, we got a split house. We have a split house here for the first best of 3 of the day. And, of course, well, to bring you that action here, kicking it off on train is going to be James and Dan. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Monsieur Stunner. Thank you for the throw. As you might expect, Dan, I'm not going to pick.
You don't know who's to pick? Oh, my God, what a surprise, James. It's as though nothing has changed.
Who do you think might win this one?
It's definitely a difficult one, but I want to go with Renegades. I think, Tyloo, we've seen less consistency from a decision-making standpoint, at least over the last few days. And despite the close record between the teams, I'm liking Renegades and where they're going with this team at the moment. I think they're on more of an upwards trajectory. But yeah, that's my choice.
All right then, Tyloo starting on the CT side. 4 people in the A bomb site for Tyloo, 2 around Ivy. And there are 2 headed in that direction for Renegades, who have 2 players with smokes, flashes, and high explosive grenade. Double HE on T side of train. Very curious to see where these might be going. Nifty and Justillo, both in Ivy with these HEs, so Captain Mo may be in some trouble here. Looking to see where he is. Nifty may have seen him now, but will he have an angle to... There we go, look, here comes the lineup, but Mo... Ooh, how's he alive? 27.
Damn.
He should have less than that. Well, there's the plan thwarted, at least. That smoke grenade hasn't really gone on either side of Ivy. It's just kind of smoked themselves off. But I suppose you could burst through it with a flashbang.
Yeah, I thought that kill was... I think everyone thought that kill was guaranteed, even Mo. And it just didn't happen. And that's a bit annoying. But as the backup plan, you've got the smoke grenade and the flashbang from Nifty. The smoke will help the T's get out onto the outer bomb site. And there you go. Oh, it's for the bomb train itself, so you can just plant inside of that. So JChem will run straight into that smoke. Looks very, very easy to get that bomb down. DD will try to stop it, but he will be stopped. Execute now in the high grounds, looking to do some damage. And so the players are all quite spread out here. Execute will be retaking the bomb train with the help of Bentek. The smoke from Bentek could help to pressure this. He has a kid as well. This is dangerous now for Renegades.
I think JK's got the angle just before the smoke bloomed, so he knew exactly where to shoot. And an Execurate will be easily dispatched of by the remaining 2.5 players, 2 facing at the same time. But 3 if required. That is the round Renegade wanted. So, what is going to be the round 2 strat from Tyloo? And there's the question, will they go for the full force buy? Looks like they will. Execurate saving for a sniper, one would presume. He's got over $1,000 in the bank. Everybody else is well equipped to cause some problems here for Renegades. We have a mixed bag, 2 MAC-10s. Only Jacob has a rifle in this round. So let's see what kind of approach Renegades will have. They've got the smokes. They've got the flashes. They've got 2 Molotovs. So they will start slow. Nifty with the scout has to be careful. Of course, he will expect plenty of Kevlar in this round. Seems Renegades will look to clear out the pop dog position. That will force Tyloo to fear the splits.
One-minute mark coming up, and Renegades look just about ready to push into this B site. DD on the other side of the doors. Ooh, will this be good? Oh my goodness, awkward. JChem knew he was ready to do the unthinkable. He's ready to take out his teammate if it was required, but fortunately for Renegades, JKS will stay alive. But somebody has other plans here. Will be coming in from the back, although checked for. 5 players still alive for Renegades, so they have an ample amount of coverage. There's nothing that should really go undiscovered. And 1 frag for Tyloo so far on this force buy. Bentet will try to keep this CZ and Kevlar into the next round. But they know where he is, relatively speaking at least. They saw him go through connector. And it does seem like they will send a couple players out to hunt him. It's really difficult around the A site though. There's so many different corners he could be hiding around at this point with that CZ.
It's quite a solid round from Renegades. Only losing 1 player. Now they can farm the Tyloo players with these SMGs if they can find them. We'll see what Tyloo choose to do. If they'll stack the players around a choke point or a site. Not much really to try and get out of this apart from, I mean, Bentek might be good for a kill here with the CZ, but beyond that, excuse me, should be nothing doing with these USPs. And indeed, it will be a full stack of the A site. They will await Renegades. Yusilo can hold a long range around the stop sign. While Azza cleans up. Kevlarless players means the range of the Mac 10 won't really be a big deal in this round. It's a long reload of the UMP. Got to be really careful when you reload a UMP, especially in rounds such as this, because the reloaders take such a long time to get in. Got to make sure you can't be rushed by your opponent while you do it. But here we are, execute on the AWP straight away. Grenades may be limited from for Tyloo because of the force buy in the second round. 2 smoke grenades, a bunch of flashes. Renegade well equipped. Not too concerned about upgrading just yet. Nifty will continue with the scout. If they win this run, which they may be favoured to do, he can always pick up the AWP of Execute if they can eliminate him.
Yeah, they did really well not losing players. Their money's really good, Renegades. Quick flash. Bentet not ready to have the gun out though, and that may backfire because they know exactly where he is. The trade comes out, and that's going to be a good situation for the T's, and that's a big problem. Execute going down, trading out. Okay, this is a good consolation finding the bomb, but that's a fantastic shot, finding it through the box with the scout. And that's DD left, trying to stop them from getting the bomb, but he's unable to do so. And now he is in a very unfavorable position, as they know exactly where he was just now. And so they'll have eyes on Pop Dog and eyes on the potential flank position, which could be through the B bomb sites. And Nifty with his second scout headshot of the round to close it out. That is a big win for Renegades, although they won't find the AWP. I don't think they'll mind too much.
Yep, the scout will do for the anti-eco round. What was that? Learn that one, boys and girls. Line up the bots. That was a really nice shot. Skadoodle's a good person to watch for those kind of shots as well. You know, I know he trains his angles. Not much for FPL type, but he does his own research. It's a good POVs to watch if you're a sniper. Slow start from Renegades. Just seeing if Tyloo will go for any pop flash plays or anything. Trying to be well equipped to deal with it. If there was a rush here, for example, he's got a tight angle, which means Tyloo wouldn't be able to face him with multiple players at the same time. They'd be running into his spray, and he could fall back to the halls if he wanted to. So it's a safe start from Renegades. A lot of people at home may like, oh, I've got to spawn for this. But you have to think about the rounds that your opponents have. If you want to make a fast play where you're committed. We saw double nades in main from an ecoing team, I think, yesterday on train. So Renegades, with this kind of approach, will avoid many of those kinds of strats from an ecoing CT side.
So Renegades are gathering up towards the B-bomb site, and soon they will decide to go in. Tyloo have a read of this. They've got 4 players ready to respond to it because of the positioning of somebody, but that shouldn't help them too much, although there are 20 seconds left on the clock, so there is a world where this goes horribly wrong for Renegades. They have left this a bit needlessly late, but they will get all the kills that they need to get the bomb safely planted. But again, that is, I mean, it looks like a non-issue here, but it just takes, you know, just 2 kills straight away, and you know, maybe you trade them out, but you have only left yourself with 10 seconds. So then trying to get the bomb planted after that point is difficult. So have to be careful not to leave it too late. But either way, it will be a 5-0 lead for Renegades now. And Tyloo are back on the buy. And it looks quite good.
And Nifty's comfortable enough to continue with the scout. He's got almost $12,000. JKS and Nifty have loads of money. Everybody else is probably average of 4 or 5. So he could buy an AWP and be close to the money of his teammates, but JKS and Nifty can be the bank in case things go wrong. So he will continue with the scout. Mo and somebody moving close to the pop dog. DD and Bentet on the B bomb site. Bentet in a rotation position in connector. X-Garrett with the AWP is holding an angle towards Ivy. He needs to be careful though, because I think his back is to the wall, and I think he would be. I think there's a crack from main where you could see. No, actually, maybe I'm wrong. I'll double check it later. 3 smokes on the B bomb site. See an exchange of frags, and somebody's in trouble. Well, he's dead.
Yeah, the pop dog position was getting pretty battered. They had a really nice nades initially there, which did about 70 damage across 2 players, and then they just kept hammering it. I like that Renegades understood that they had to do that because they knew that there was a lot of presence there from the CTs, and so you kind of have to deal with pop dog if you want to play into the late round. Really, it's quite strong for the CTs to hold it with 2 players like that. And in goes Renegades towards B site. They got a lurker going through the back lines in through CT spawn as an insurance policy. However, it is not going to be required, and they will just be able to get the entry frags as they walk in. And Renegades looking really strong at the moment. Tyloo not with too much to say about it. X-Garrett will likely be able to save this AWP. It's a pretty damn strong position at this point of the round. But 6-0 coming up.
Yeah, I think there is actually, looking on my Observer PC, what I was mentioning earlier, if you're playing the Ivy position but you are against the back wall, there is a very tight spot from T main where you can actually shoot somebody standing there, so you can't be that far back. With the setup Tyloo had, they had 2 players in pop. One was watching pop and one was watching T's exiting main, but X-Garrett could have been shot from main without his teammates seeing anything. So that's something to bear in mind. Got to be really careful about your positioning on Ivy. And you can be shot from the pop dog as well, so you have to bear in mind what your teammates are covering and how they're covering it. Tyloo not really having much success. Bentet, DD, Captain Mo, all 1 kill. X-Garrett and somebody 3 kills each. 6-0 for Renegade, so I mean, JKS is 9-1. He's not a big fan of dying. Nifty 6-1. This could hardly be more comfortable for Renegade. So much money in the bank as well, which compounds the problem for Tyloo. They can't win 1 round. They've got to win 2 or 3 in a row. Otherwise, they'll probably get reset. Well, otherwise they will get reset, and then they may get 3 rounds in a half. Those are the implications. 3 players moving towards Ivy for Renegades. Now, with Tyloo at maximum loss bonus, they will expect stronger eco rounds. Kevlar. Oh, somebody betrayed by his shadow. Something to bear in mind if you are trying to walk into main. You saw the shadow there. Made the kill almost guaranteed. So get a pop flash in. Especially in a round such as this. You can afford the pop flashes. Always consider the direction of the shadows when you're going to walk into T territory.
Yeah, I feel like it's not that common that we see players using their shadows as a baiting tactic as well to occupy attention. But moving onwards, we have very little kills here from Tyloo, generally speaking. And a lot of these rounds, Renegades have been very successful at just wiping them out without taking much in the way of losses. And that is an issue. Bentet will kick things off well for Tyloo. It might be one of the first rounds in which they actually have an advantage to speak of at the beginning. And they will fall back to more passive positions to be site. That's a good reaction, and Renegades need an adjustment now. There's a couple ways that they could try to approach it. I think either you're, at this point, wanting to set up a set piece, or you want to try to play for picks. And I think the set piece option is usually a lot better. As if you lose another player, if you go for picks, then all of a sudden it's a 5 versus 3 and you're nowhere near a bomb site. So as we hit the 1 minute mark, we can start to expect Renegades to want to set up for a push. And Azza is the most forward man looking for information. He's spotted out that it's fairly clear in the front aspects of the yard, but that only can mean that there's CTs further back.
Can see Nifty jump peeking. There are angles above those trains he's looking at where Azza could get shot from if he's peeking from top Pop Dog. And Renegades have thrown mollies in previous rounds in that direction as well. Once again, Renegades running the clock down. 2 AWPs now for Tyloo. Then Tet will have the second one, watching the high ground of B, where the bomb appears to be headed. And here come the grenades. Excret is on a quick rotation as a third man, but he's not moving just yet. Smoke's down in connector now, and Didi will feel vulnerable. Flashbangs are here. Bentet starts things off, picking off the high ground, but as it moves through the sidewalk position, traded by Excret, Bentet's here as well. So looking like the first round for Tyloo, and indeed it will be. Only one frag on that push from Renegades. Despite the late rotation for a third player there, Bentet had the angles above, on top. That was a great start from him. And a good finish. Surviving 4 players is crucial as well. They need that money in the bag because Renegades have got plenty to spend.
Yeah, you can see Renegades struggle to know what to do after losing the first player, but no time to speak of that. A very, very fast pace now into the next round, and that's going to catch Tyloo completely off guard in this situation. There is no response. Early on in the round, they can get the bomb down to Renegades very quickly. The AWPs are working the far back positions, but that's the issue, is that they are just stuck there in these far back positions. There's no easy way forwards through these long channels. Now that the T's are set up 5 versus 3. That's a push from Istillo. I'm not sure about that one, but you will confirm some information, I suppose. Tyloo are not entertaining the idea of a retake here. They know that it's too difficult. Flash there to do some extra damage, remove some of these guns. Will be successful. It's 1 more gun gone. 2 AWPs remaining though.
I'm sure Jacob will hunt here. Bait not taken. Nice from Excret. 2 AWPs saved. They will buy around these. It's a great response from Renegades, but they know that there will be another buy coming with what Tyloo have saved. If they win this round, Renegades, then we might be looking at 13-1, 12-1. I'll say 12-1. 13 might be a stretch at this point. That's a lot of rounds, but this is looking like a comfortable game of train so far. So far, so good for Renegades. Azza having a look, trying to identify what the setup might be. Again, if you have those fast peaks, then you can see if somebody makes their way into Pop Dog or not, and that will explain why Renegades are in this position very fast indeed.
Such a big plus having Pop Dog quickly. Can open up so much. And when that smoke goes away, oh, we can actually see. Wow. It's really hard to tell on our spectator view whether or not they can actually see some of these spots, but that's a big pick. Nice response coming in from Tyloo with a bit of aggression on the B side of the map. Just poking in. And it's coming out with a win there, but it's 50 seconds left. Renegades will be going back on the outside position. Excret forced back here. Lots of AWPs to deal with. Bentet and Excret, that's not an easy couple AWPs to deal with. They will be successful though. Istillo is going in right now. A quick trio of kills from him, leaving just the UMP in Didi's hands to try to respond in some way. I'm not sure exactly what he can accomplish here. Jacob might be vulnerable. The closest player, indeed, gets caught with throwing the Molotov. AK collected. Is Didi actually going to be able to do something here?
He has to. Otherwise, this half is a write-off. Has he spotted? I don't know. Can't tell sometimes with the outline. See some of him. Oh, has he got a kit? No. So he may save something. Look for an AWP perhaps. There's a kit. Ooh, I think he might.
He might have time.
He's going to be close.
I think he's got time.
Ooh. It's going to be a close one.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Go on then, DD. That is such a needed win. And he gets the AWP.
Wow.
And it didn't even feel like a clutch. It just felt like,
yeah.
all right, I'm going to do whatever I can and try and kill some people. Oh, I've won the round. Well done, DD.
That kit was placed there by some divine... That was divine intervention. It's just placed there perfectly. That just never happens, does it?
I feel like Renegades in that 2 versus 1 are thinking... They are not thinking about a round win. They're thinking about, he's going to jump around for a while, not going to find us because it's train, and then eventually we'll kill him. Not only did he kill both of them, but he won the round. That is a shocker. There's no way that they even consider that to be a possibility in that round. No way.
Wow. Well, for Renegades, they've got so much money left that it's not a huge issue for them. But it does go a long way to you getting Tyloo back into the game. DD. Tyloo has so many great individuals. Fast play again from Renegades. They've been quite successful just busting down the... We're always getting these first couple entries. It will go that way once more. Captain Mo with a fantastic response here. Oh, that's a beautiful triple coming in from him, looking for the quad kill. He is denied though. 2v2 will ensue as Renegades still press onto the bomb train to try to get a plant going for themselves. But there's no time rush here. They don't have to force the plant. Can try to get the kills. But DD on the flank, he could spoil everything.
Bentet hiding in plain sight in the middle to avoid the spray on the usual channels. Oh, that's so annoying for DD just when he fires the gun. Nifty moves, but the frag is still there, and he knows exactly where JKS is or was. But I don't know if JKS knows. I don't know if he was tagged in that exchange. Either way, Tyloo have the information, but Renegades have the time. No sound cues being given away. Where JKS was maybe 3 seconds ago, you can hear players running from there if you are in the hell position, for example. Something to bear in mind for those of you at home. Got to be careful with those rotations. 30 seconds now, and I guess he would have to eventually start running to B, but DD's in position. Awkward and difficult for JKS, and that is a great opportunity gone at this point for Renegades. Even after Tyloo won that second round, there's a reset opportunity for Renegades where they can just smash the rest of the half out. But now Tyloo's buys are slowly getting better. Again, Renegades can still reset them, but they're getting rounds on the board here. They had 1 round for the longest time, now they've got 3. There are still 4 more rounds to fight for. Renegades will want to shut this down.
Captain Mo's will be so careful. They're definitely looking for this. Oh, on reaction, still gets it though. And the Molotov will come in there to try to finish off the remainder of these Ts, just forcing Renegades out of T main with everything that they can possibly bring to bear, and it's going to be successful. This is a big problem for Renegades. How do they deal with this? Bentet's just staring at that pop dog position as well, so if JKS tries to make a play, he's likely going to be in trouble also. JKM looking to trade. That's a massive frag there. I don't think there's a way back in the round now for Renegades, surely.
Is Bentet close enough to hear? I think he is. DD is rotating, and so is Excurate. So Bentet was close enough to main to hear these players rushing into the B bomb site. Oh, DD just gets up the ladder in time, trying to do it quietly, but now his position is buying time because Renegades can't plant the bomb. The Molotov is out. They need to cross. One of them's in a red. Ustillo is surely going to die. There he goes. The side plant being attempted by JKM. Desperate times now for Renegades. All of a sudden, their money's disappeared. They had to get the plant there, but can JKM win the round? 1 versus 3. And the numbers are too great for Tyloo. Round number 4 in the bag.
So they're starting to make or get something working. And it's really cool because that round was successful for them in a more convincing way than some of the other rounds in which they found those advantages and closed them down. You know, they just took away T main. They took away this really big area that the Ts need, and they invested really heavily into it. There was 2 or 3 players there from Tyloo on the attack there, and they threw a lot of utility in there to try to make sure that it was going to go their way, and it absolutely did. And finally, there's no money left for Renegades. They had so much for so long, but Tyloo have them on the brink of being broken. they were to achieve that, 7 rounds becomes very possible here for them as they go once again in for massive investments towards this team A position. They've cleared it out. What does that tell them? Deep smoke on Ali as well. Tyloo controlling the situation, being very active.
What a different game we suddenly have. Ooh, I thought FACEIT may have seen something there, but he doesn't. 2 players in the IV position. Preemptive flashbang. They know an AWP is there. Nifty fired a shot. This is that's one of those positions where you can look into main. It's a common peak device will go for, but also you can look into the pop dog position as well. FACEIT now playing IV from inside the site. As we have that set up again, somebody in captain mode around pop dog looking at main and such. So you do wonder with this time on the clock if Renegades, if they were to re-smoke IV, for example, if they would do it on the CT side. Oh, Captain Mo. Oh, that's so unlucky. Did JKS see him as well? Because Captain Mo didn't fire. Okay then, 28 seconds. The bomb is down in pop dog. Renegades have serious problems.
Yeah, there's not too much that they can do about this. It seems 20 seconds and the Orp's been causing problems. Finally, they'll go down. And as I say that, just clean kills coming in from Tyloo. Very, very convincing. Slicing his way through the defense. 10 seconds to get the plants. DD, this is his moment to creep up. And another 1v2 could be on his hands here. That's 1 frag. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Oh no. He can't get out of there in time. I don't think he realized how close Tyloo was.
That is so unlucky for Tyloo, but that is huge for Renegades. Finally, they broke the buy of Tyloo, and this is all off the back of DD's clutch. It was so unexpected, but Tyloo did great work there to finish off the job. That's such a long one for DD. Really unlucky, so close to the corner, but ultimately denied. They'll go for the force buy with 2 rounds remaining. More aggression towards main. But they're not so well equipped now to have their setup around the pop dog position.
It's pretty crazy because if they'd converted that round, they could have had like a 7-8 scoreline. And now it's looking like it could be 11-4 for Renegades or something similar to that effect. Such a massive swing round.
I feel like the way this was going, Renegades should have at least 11 rounds moving into the second half. Somebody will hear these players towards the B bomb site. There is a boost to look towards the connector position, but nobody's there just yet. Still 4 players in A for Tyloo. There's a big frag. The only rifle wins a duel on Ivy. I do wonder if they will send somebody to retrieve that now. Bentet's moving towards the smoke. Yeah, he's going for the gun in Ivy with Mo in for support. But they need to have a look and move quickly because the push is coming in towards the B bomb site. Traded, but DD, look at me, he's rotating like he's the single AWP. That's a massive frag. Nifty planting the bomb, but he's in the red. He has to get off it. Falling off, he gets a frag. 20 seconds now, and the CTs will continue to pressure him as they're trying to hold things down. And he may be the hero, or maybe not. 2 versus 1 now. Nifty with 15 HP to try and clutch it. Great headshot onto Bentet. Seems to have the mode. Oh, that's beautiful. He had the angle for Captain Mo. What a clutch.
Wow, he just knew everything. Beautiful.
That was tight.
There was only one way to win it, and Nifty he just knew. He's so dialed into the moment. Waiting for that push around Colt, and boom. So 10-4 at the moment. There is a chance here for Tyloo. Okay, no AWPs. That has been something that's worked well for them. And they've denied it here, lacking utility, but they have been good at aggression too, and there'll be another one here. Bentet flashed in with the M4. It's going to be a decent flash. Bentet will get the bomb. He can't really push too much further than that, but they will keep challenging for the trades, and that could have been the moment for Tyloo. If only they'd gotten the better of those trades, and it will just get worse for them here. JKS murdering 2 players around Pop, leaving just DD into the last round, and once again, we've been here before, but the odds are much worse for DD in this one. He's got a worse weapon as well. It's a nice skin at least. I like it, but he finds himself some contraband.
No kit for DD. He'll get a 1 versus 1. Oh, tagged through the smoke. What the timing is just so annoying. Looks away as he exposes himself to the player that he was looking for at the back. And there it is. There are the 11 rounds for Renegades. I think 11 to 13 were likely. So, again, they could have... I mean, there were so many tight rounds that it could have been an 8-7 half, but it could also been a 14-1. But here we are, Renegades in a very strong position. They won the pistol round in the first half. Can they do the same in the second?
So we get some smokes on the outside. Always good. But this is a great way to deal with that. Oh, man. 3 kills off of the CZ, just lining up those players off the ladder, one after another. Couldn't have been more simple than that. And that's the strength of pushing the close positions. You want to throw some smokes? Well, you're not even gonna see those smokes. You're gonna get wrecked.
Shut it down. That's almost a shame because I was curious to see what pistol round Renegades had in mind. Tyloo had a smoke grenade as well as a second player with a kit. So I was already wondering what they were going for. Maybe it was a double smoke of B for a retake or something, but we may never know because Tyloo just ruined everyone. And he's back in his position on the in the pop dog.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, they managed to take him down. I assume the worst.
Where Tyloo is aiming is normally where someone's head will be when they jump down, but you could see there that Tyloo had 2 different angles, which I would assume was very deliberate. And down goes Tyloo. That's a meaty grenade, isn't it? That's a meaty grenade. It's too early for that amount of meat. Preemptive Molotov may delay this push from Tyloo. As they're starting to flank, Nifty still close to the pop. This should be a shooting gallery.
There's some decent spray from JKM for 3 and finished off by JKS. And I think going back to that pistol round just for a moment, I think it's a really good argument from Tyloo there as to how good the CZ can be in the pop dog position. Just that automatic pistol when they're sort of rushing you down in that way is really, really useful. A little AK, mini AK.
Close range, numbers gained by the T's. On a pistol round, good positions to have a CZ balcony on Inferno, for example, B on Dust 2, so on and so forth. Double nades. Captain Mo is managing to escape these double nade situations. Bentet, however, will not escape. Double play again from Tyloo. I think Excruit had the bomb in that drop as well.
Yeah, he did. He cares not. Ooh, Captain Mo gets himself a headshot and a dink there onto Nifty. Now things are getting a bit awkward for Renegades. They need these M4s to be really efficient at this point. There's a good engagement, but he's going to get double teamed here. Tyloo will go down, and it's up to JKS with the UMP. It's not an easy look. And this is not the round that you expected Tyloo to do so much damage in and potentially win.
As we got picked in the middle of Ivy, I think with a Desert Eagle, somebody. Hello.
Oh, that's the FATMAS too. That's a nice pickup.
Not bad. French gun.
Yeah, and also getting the kill the UMP because next rounds they are going to be saving, so he can drop that FAMAS and he can actually fall by. And that means Tyloo can get a gun and have Kevlar and so on and so forth. So they can actually, because they will want to force buy in this next round. And it's looking a little bit sketchy. There's no money for an AWP, unfortunately. But with JKS dropping the FAMAS and rebuying an M4, this can work. Or are they actually just half buying? Okay, a half buy. I like that. I respect that. They're actually just putting more emphasis on their full buy. That's great.
That's cool.
That's good. That's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing.
I wish we saw it more.
Yeah.
Expectant of aggression, Tyloo. They were positioned with a pop flash. Excruit moving forward. And there are 3 players towards Ivy. Azza alone with the CZ, just spotting. He can't really, doesn't particularly want to take an engagement from that range. Just having a look. He knows people are there. Where he's standing now is a good position for a pop flash if you hold the left and the right buttons down. Nico will often do it on phase. There is a video I made for it. It arches perfectly, doesn't collide with anything. In a round such as this, could be devastating actually, especially if you had players where Captain Mo is standing now. So look that up. It's a good one to learn if you are an Ivy player. Good one to be aware of as well.
So it's really about time to go for Tyloo. Less than 30 seconds now. They'll start to push in. This is very dangerous because if Renegades just have players in the right positions, it could get complicated. They are fortunate though. Tyloo have discovered enough that they'll be safe, but I always get a bit nervous when teams go in with less than 30 seconds. And Renegades can keep the Kevlars that they purchased here. That's going to be a big win. And the FAMAS will stay for JKS. It's very possible all 5 players could survive here for Renegades. Only Nifty didn't invest anything, and well, I suppose he's still low. And that's an AK on the ground. I don't know if it's possible to get that, but maybe they'll give it a go. There's 3 players in the back lines now going for it. And that's one of the Kevlars down. That's unfortunate.
Oh, good. Got to save that. You missed the first shot. Oh boy, they both died on Ivy, and Azza might get. Yeah. Okay, he's got an AK.
Only 2 survive for Tyloo. That's and Azza getting an AK. Jake is keeping the FAMAS.
A lot of money there.
That worked out ideally, didn't it, for Renegades?
They lost a lot of money there. They lost a lot of money there.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know what else to say. That was a lot of money.
But for Renegades, it just worked out perfectly.
That's the AWP gone, and now I don't know that they can afford to really... Oh, okay, there's one on the floor. Never mind. They're fine. On the floor. 7 rounds between the 2 sides. A long road back for Tyloo. I do wonder partly if... like the first pause from Renegades in the first half, I do wonder if it was just to break any momentum for Tyloo when they... I think it was after the DD clutch. Because that is a thing in sports, for sure. Anyway, that won't, those deaths won't hamper Tyloo's buy in this round. Yusilo back to his usual business, and that Molotov will make it safer for him. Again, Renegades will have the awareness of the Pop Dog situation, having had a few rounds where they went into there quickly themselves. JKS playing close B for the time being, and the Tyloo harassment begins around the Pop Dog.
Ooh, some of these nades are doing some damage. I'm liking that in the modern era of CS, of Counter-Strike, we're seeing a lot more usage of the HEs. It was a thing in the past whereby, you know, you may just focus on having 2 flashbangs instead of the HE. And the HE, you know, it's burst damage. Burst damage is really, really useful. It's just very difficult to connect. But it's enough on that right now. We have the push coming in, and Nifty's got a great angle. Whoa, that's a big miss from Nifty. Don't expect him to whiff those ones, and he's going to get punished hard. That is a tragedy.
It's very unlike Nifty.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, if it's rare. And then he jumps and gets taken out of the sky, man.
If he hits that first shot, he doesn't have to reposition. He repositioned because he missed it. And so if he hits the first one, who knows what else he's able to do there. So it's
potentially very well. It is a very different round.
Yeah, yeah, it could have been the same, but could have been quite different.
Had to concede his position and got punished leaving. Maybe because of the lost weapons from Tyloo in that previous round, they may not hunt too much in this one. They lost like $12,000. Those 2 players dying to the explosion. Renegades holding on to what they have. This, all of a sudden, after that clutch from DD, in the first half, we've had a number of tight rounds. Tyloo, after they got their first frag onto JKS, they were just streaming into the B bomb site. That was a free kill for Excurate, but Nifty's learned not to jump in that situation, in that position now. Ooh, Bentet with the spawn plate. Again, if the CTs decide to play an open connector, they will always get there before the Ts get to that connector position. So it is a play that does have risk. Nifty has got an aggressive B now. So Renegades have a reasonable level of information. Jacob holding the pop is quite important as well, but Tyloo have the man advantage.
Yeah, going Ivy is really perfect because of the emphasis around Pop Dog. There's a world, you know, if they do try to split Pop and Main, okay, they can just wipe out those two players when they're around, but it's a lot harder to do that. It's more consistent to have this position. And oftentimes, if you play really slow rounds and you have a late or IV pressure, like a lot of IV pressure, those you will not have such forward positions for the CTs because, you know, they're sort of pulled back to assist and defend that choke point. And, you know, obviously, if they're able to get through Ivy, they have a pretty good path towards that bomb train. And with the effective use of smokes, it can be difficult for the Pop players to help prevent that. This could be a pretty good split, actually. Nifty does get the first pick in towards Team Main. Oh, JKS, can he find a timing here? Looking above the ladder, and Didi will spot him, but he can't get the frag just yet. They line up, but Excurate is very, very fast. What a beautiful split from Tyloo. Great execution on this one.
Jacob's the last one to fall in the Pop Dog. There was a smoke. Renegades had a setup that Tyloo were playing in the first half as well. They had two players, Pop Dog, one watching Main and one watching Pop. And there was a smoke in that position. Nifty got a really important frag. That is not an easy shot to make from Bentet. So I did think that might go the way of Renegades, especially when it got close to the smoke in Main. But here we are. Tyloo have Renegades on the back foot now. Renegades heading towards max loss bonus. Excurate's turn with the AWP, and it's Tyloo's turn for a burst into the A site. There are two players to deal with, though, so they'll have to be careful because they are hiding. Nifty on the ladder, shooting his time to strike. Excurate missing a shot, but manages to land a second one, and Nifty will get finished off. As will the rest of Renegades. 3 players surviving for Tyloo, 4 rounds away from Renegades.
Yeah, it's looking really nice on the T side now. They're hitting a groove, and Renegades were quite fortunate again on their first half not to concede more rounds. There was definitely big opportunity for Tyloo to get more on their CT side. So this is quite scary now. Tyloo really turning up the heat and finding some comfort and executing some good splits. We just saw a very fast pace, and the previous round was a very slow pace. So we're going back to a default somewhat here. I say that, but there's no presence towards upper B just yet. They are doing that now, though. So sort of spreading out the presence all over the map. Of course, Ivy, there's not been too much going on there. I think unless Tyloo want to go relatively soon, there is a benefit to show presence there, if they have time to do so. Forcing JKS to play back and forcing him to throw a grenade by just showing yourself towards B. And now they go back towards a split onto the A sites, setting it up with nades, but Jaken's position could be a huge issue for this.
Tyloo know they have no one in main though, so they should make the assumption that somebody's there until they see otherwise. That is something to... You see the double lines here being held. Oh, but Ustillo... Okay, Jacob's playing anti-flash now with Ustillo having a look, but he's got a pretty good position as well, so this will not be easy. There is a pop flash. Again, Ustillo completely misses it. Will run distraction. Jacob picks up this kill. 35 seconds. Tyloo've got to get these frags. Ustillo's still in a very strong position, having picked off Bentet. Now there are smokes which can favour both sides. Somebody trying to plant the bomb or faking, trying to bait these players out. There's time to do this, but he got to get the frags. 3 versus 2 now. Check here spamming all over the shop. Now there's 20 seconds left. 2 versus 1. Nifty at the back train. He can't stop the bomb plant. Where is the trade fragger though? He should see that grenade just ever so slightly waiting for the peek. He must have a peek from DD. Somebody repositioning. Oh god, that's enough information. He can't see everything because the scope obscures his vision. Took one sound cue and DD was there.
That was pretty amazing that Tyloo saved that round. They lost 2 players before they could even burst through the choke points, the initial ones, because the setup from Renegades was quite effective, honestly. They got 2 kills out of Justillo. JKM, unfortunately for Renegades, I think, it was really needed that he could get one, but he was unable to. But it was still a very good start for Renegades, and Tyloo still, sheer tenacity, able to make it work. Even when Renegades were very disruptive. And that's very encouraging to see. If you are a Tyloo fan, they are really looking very good at the moment. Even when Renegades pull out some great moves like that previous round, Tyloo still withstanding the punishment and coming out the victors. They're looking quite favoured, actually, at the moment.
Momentum is certainly with them. Now, as it's pushed through Ivy, as the push is coming in from Tyloo, they know to check this position. Angles are being held, but there will be 1 kill as Mo goes close against the pistols. But looks okay for now. Jacob at the back of B as looking to flank. Awkward for DD. That would have been a kill otherwise if he did not pull out the grenade. Perhaps wanting to smoke that position off while the Molotov was up. Reasonable risk, but timing is what it is in CSGO. Trying not to be exposed to 2 places at the same time. Round number 11 for Tyloo, sorry. And beyond a pistol, it's basically been every round for Tyloo. So Renegades will be dangerous almost every round as well because they're at max loss bonus. So when they buy big. As flanking, trying to catch a player at the back, but there's nothing for him to grab.
So Renegades, they've got to pull themselves out of the pit of despair that they may be finding themselves in at the moment and focus on getting this game back under control. Because right now it's definitely not under control. Everything's slipping through their fingers. That lead is diminishing very rapidly at this stage as we have this tactical pause come in, and we have a lot of talk from the coach having a chin wag.
Chinny chin chin.
And the double ops come out, JKS with Nifty. And what approach will Renegades take? They have a lot of options. They can either decide that the aggression has been a good call, or that being passive with the double ops might be more impactful. Nifty will go forward with the AWP into the alley position. He's going to find a couple players. Oh, he misses the shot and gets murdered. That's a bad start for Renegades.
Azza's got to win this duel. Unable to back off. Point of no return, unfortunately for him. But you can see Tyloo trying to capitalize on this. Jumping through the smoke, expecting attention to be elsewhere. And Jacob is delivering 3 kills for him so far. All of a sudden, the advantages for Tyloo have gone. Execute needs to go back and pick up the bomb. DD is investigating towards B in the meantime. JKS is in connector, and Jacob is deep on the A side. So DD's gone. He's done the recon, and Execute is just charging through. Now, with DD's position, Execute should go for the side plant for DD. Don't go default. There we go. Very nice stuff. That's going to make it more difficult for Renegades to deal with. DD can just hide in this position and hold the off angle. Let the CT stream into the site. Once the CT see the plant, they will realize what is possible. But by that time, well, they may die before they even get there. How are you checking for DD's position? You're not. Sees one player, takes him out. Goes for the duel as well. Yeah. He could have gone down there.
Just going for it. He just sees red.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to do that, but he does. Play the confidence. I mean, that's the great thing. If you do that anyway, and you, it's like it shows your opponent that you're playing at max power, man. You are confident.
Yeah, and another great round from Tyloo. Jacob, I honestly don't know how he was able to get so much damage done. He did a really fantastic job trying to save it, but alas, it was not to work. Renegades, they look a little bit off at the moment. We're seeing some missed shots. You know, Azza and Nifty, that's beginning of the last rounds, did not have a good time in their 1v1s. And that's all Tyloo need. That's all Tyloo need is 1 missed shots, and they're all over you. And they are slowing things down again here. They've been modulating their pacing a lot on this T side, and it's been effective. Renegades have no idea what to expect right now. Oh, that could have been a nice one from Azza, but Mo will get the kill, and that's going to definitely create more of an argument to make a move soon for Tyloo. They've got 5v4 now. Regrouping. And it looks like they're going to be going outside with a split.
Jacob must deliver. Big grenade. He's left with 8 HP. Again, his crosshair is where the head will normally appear when players jump down. There's a flashbang. Oh, Benta doesn't have the angle. That is so much from Jacob. He's done so much again. With 8 HP, gets 2 of the 3 kills he was looking for. JKS with the 1 dig now. There's the flank coming in from Ustilo. Smokes it down. The bomb will be quickly planted in the smoke. Ustilo, he's found a toy. Bearing in mind, this was a pistol round. Jacob bought a rifle because he had extra money. Now Ustilo on the site with no kit. Does he touch the bomb to bait a player? Does he try to find out? They will never expect him to be so deep in the site, and Execute's surely about to get taken down. But I think it's too late for him to win the round at this point. Oh, he's missed his chance now. Execute could hop on the ladder, or he could just sit there and wait for the kill, and he'll do that. He will have an advantage there with the position because Ustilo's legs will be seen in the corner, bottom corner of the train before Ustilo will see anything. Makes life a lot easier. And now Tyloo are tied. And again, beyond the pistol, Renegades have not won a round really in this half. And let's not forget Renegades won both pistol rounds. So this is quite an achievement from Tyloo to even get to this point.
So with this 13-13 scoreline, with a general lack of success, only Jacob really speaking out at the moment. A Renegade's going to allow Tyloo to bring this all the way back. One more round and they have taken the lead, and it's been so long. It'll be the first time they would have had the lead in this game. Such a grind from Tyloo here. It just seems to have not affected them at all, just being so far behind, just playing their game, just doing their thing. And this T-side has been quite confident.
It almost feels like Tyloo were expecting Renegades to take main, the way Execute and Bentet were just waiting outside. But what is their plan to retake it? Because it's a lot of information for Renegades. They need to do something about. Unable to do it so far. JKS has been picked off towards B. He's the only player there, despite the stronghold in main with Ustilo standing there. So they've got to play post-spawn. But look how deep somebody is. He will surely hear the plays in CT spawn. Are they walking into this position? Azza and Jacob slowly creeping now, but there's such a strong angle for somebody. The crouch picks double peek, and none of them will go down. That is huge for Renegade. 4 versus 3 retake, and now the frags are coming in. Expert, does he see the second player there? Repositioning. Oh, that's beautiful from him. 2 versus 2. Captain Mo on the high ground. Expert is the bait. There's a smoke on the site, but no one touching the bomb. Mo will stop Azza from getting there. And now it's 1 versus 1. Jacob, he's been a hero for Renegades. Even in the rounds they've lost, the Molotov is there. Mo is out. There's no defuse just yet. And the round is with Tyloo and the lead.
I think he could find it. Well, it's getting a bit sketchy now. They've got an interesting spot on their hand. They've lost so many rounds in a row. They've lost 10 rounds in a row. Ouch. They've lost 10 rounds in a row, James.
Yeah,
I just counted it again because it's a lot of rounds. I can't believe it.
I think Jacob realised he could not defuse the bomb there. It was too late. If you're wondering why he's jumping in the smoke with his knife out, it was at a point of no return, and Renegades are on the brink of the point of no return. Considering, again, like, it's so interesting, considering the turning point in the first half and that round from Didi, which was basically stolen, it was robbed, and how that round allowed Tyloo to get back into this game. Renegades could have shut this down in that first half if that round didn't happen. But if they are to lose this, after having all that success, and then after losing every single round in the second half, what kind of mindset are they going to have moving into the second map? They have to win this map of Train.
Oh man, it's getting really bad, isn't it? 10 rounds in a row conceded. Where Renegades at? Where have they gone? DD waiting for the push. With that AK-47, is he going to be able to get these kills? They are going to be coming in very quickly in just a moment, surely. Or perhaps they are waiting, anticipating a default. But with so much time gone on the clock, they have to start wondering, and eventually they're going to push here. DD so just throwing a nade down, pop, trying to bait out. He can sense it. It's as though they know what's going on. The forward smoke to delay timing. Renegades have a good idea based on this B pressure of exactly what's happening on the map.
Yeah, but DD falling back doesn't seal this continual pushing now. So Renegades have taken a risk, and they have colossal information. That said, this is so weird. Look at the positions of Renegades. I mean, how do you plan for this? This could still go wrong because there's nobody actually in the IV position. Somebody gets one kill, and Nifty gets a nice upgrade. But look at the charge now from the IV position. All the T's are coming in. This could go either way. This is absolutely crazy. Look at the double peak angles here from Renegades, but Jacob, he starts strafing and loses the duel down to a 2-on-2. There are 15 seconds to plant this bomb. Excret has to get onto the site, and DD does not have the angles to cover him. Going to the high ground to do that. There is the plant with 14 HP. Did they hear DD go up the ladder? This is absolutely insane. Excret rotating, while Az is rotating. Nifty towards the E-box position. DD covering Excret's back. He's got the angle. And now what does Nifty do? Oh my god, this is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. They had so much map control, but like, this is not a setup that you prepare for. Where your teammates are behind main and inside and around main, and you've got 4 players coming through Ivy. That's not something you prepare for.
It's really weird because Tyloo they took so long to initiate the push, and Renegades had so much information for so long. Quite cool that it came down to the TV2 in that way. I think it was always going to. That is not a round you're going to see for quite a while again.
That's insane. 11-4, they got 2 rounds Renegades, and that was a pistol.
Yeah, they've lost 11 in a row now. It's oh man. I actually thought that, judging by the first half, it would be a really fast first map, but Tyloo have had something to say about it and more. JKS now, and he needs to have an amazing performance. He does have assistance. He's got Nifty with him, but Nifty's on a scout, so this equipment is not ideal to defend this. They do have the fast flank available, but that's often looked out for by the T's. Good nade coming in. That's gonna do a lot, actually, especially with the scouts.
Worth noting, JKS did not deploy his Molotov straight away, but he deploys it as somebody takes him out before he can start firing, and there are big problems here for Renegades. It's game point for Tyloo. The Molly will keep them contained for the time being, but they start to spread as Renegades spread at the back of the site. It's a 5 versus 3, although that could change quickly because 3 of these players for Tyloo are quite heavily tagged. There's one piece to upgrading, there's a second one. 2 of the low players out quickly, and that will give them a great boost moving forward. Azza by the oil position, Benter on the site, and now Tyloo's starting to lose these duels. Flashbangs are out, here comes Azza, delivering Excret versus 3, and Renegades finally win a round.
only took it, they only needed to lose 11 in a row at first, and we can see that Tyloo are really disappointed with that. They knew they had the map with that round. They had such huge advantages in this round. At 5v3, look how poorly equipped Renegades are at the start of this. A quick double starts it off. Azza then onto the bomb train with another one, and all of a sudden, Tyloo are suffocated. And now it's down to a fight for the very, very last round here to secure overtime or to secure a win if you're Tyloo.
This time, Tyloo will not concede the main position early, but they've got the boost up. CT's having a look. Excret being teased. He's got the boost, so hello, goodbye. A stark difference, and this is the thing. Tyloo's behavior in so many rounds, they haven't been in main at all. They're at match point. Renegades cannot lose this round. All of a sudden, everything changes on the T side, and they get an early pick because of it. Renegades took that position for granted because of all the previous rounds where Tyloo just been outside main.
As it was a push, looking for info. You've got to be careful with this one. If the T's are playing a really slow pace, you can get caught off guard. But they are playing a pretty fast pace. Somebody in the help position already. Unbeknown to Renegades, a 3 versus 5 for them. Tyloo getting closer and closer to taking this map. Oh,
my God.
That is so clinical there with the spray down. And they are going to keep flashing him. He's so blind. Deagle comes out, actually gets a meaty connection, but it is just Nifty left in the 1 versus 3. Nifty's been having a tough game. This will be the time to show up, but it is so difficult, and they're going to take the bomb to B.
Look at these mid-round calls, the presence of mind from Tyloo. That is really awesome. Somebody spotted Nifty now. They know exactly what's going on. DZ got the angle. The Molotov is there already. 15 HP, and that is it. Tyloo with a straight robbery in the street of that map from Renegades. They're on the moped stand with the axes, and they've taken all the watches from the window.
Wow. Renegades, they concede 11 rounds in a row on that second half. That is demoralizing. They are going to definitely need this break to figure something out and just bring their spirits back up and prepare themselves mentally for the next map, because Tyloo, they are going to be very strong after a victory like this. After such a grind, to come back like that, they can't be in anything but amazing spirits.
What a lights-out performance from Tyloo. That was very enjoyable to watch, and who knows what is to come. That is map 1 out of the way. We will see you after the break for map number 2.